Welcome back. Thank you for watching The Mentored Engineer. In this video we're going to be talking about a second way to latch a relay in PLC logic, and we're also going to look at counters, timers, and a special case of a timer called an up-down counter. Alright, let's get started. So here we're going to activate our green light here by using latching relay logic. Okay, so we want to have our X7 button start the motor, and we have to have our E-stop on. So X7 and X0, we want both of those to be on. And here in our coils, we're actually going to pick a set coil. Alright, and we're going to make that C1. And then our motor will latch on at C1. So that's the latching or setting of the controller. And then we're going to add another one where we're going to say not the E-stop, and that will actually activate the coil, RST or reset. And make sure to type in C1 there so it actually works. Alright, we're going to go ahead and write this. So our E-stop is on, so we have a green light. Alright, turn that off. Doesn't do anything. Alright, so here if I press this, you can see it go ahead and set our motor latch to on, and therefore our motor would be on, which is Y2. Alright, if I press the E-stop, it resets it. Alright, now let's just make sure that from before that when the E-stop is pressed that we can't go back and start the motor, which we can't because our E-stop is not on. When we release that, go ahead and put it right back on. Alright, so that's the second way to do latching and resetting. Alright, now let's look at timers. So in a PLC, doing a timer is very easy. Back before that, you would have to do some, you'd have to buy timing relays, which they're not cheap. So in our logic, we have contacts, which are the lines or the lines with the cross through them, and then we have coils, which are the things that will go on the right. We also have boxes. All right, so one of the cool boxes here is timers. And I'm going to use the timer box, and this timer box operates in tenths of a second. So every count here is 1/10 of a second. So I'm going to say that I want to count to 25. So that's 2.5 seconds. And instead of using C1 to turn my motor on, I'm going to use T0 for timer 0. And I'm going to use button 2 to start my timer. Alright, so let's go ahead and write that. So I'm going to say, theoretically, if I hold my clutch in for 2 seconds, it's going to start my motor. Alright, 1, 2, go. Alright, so there it is. And I got to hold another 2.5 seconds to make it go on. And I don't have any latching functions here. Alright, so let's say I had a diesel motor and I was going to turn the key, and the key was going to first heat up the coil so that the fuel about to be combusted is warm enough to do it, and they've got a little heater there, and you hold the key in a certain position and then you can go ahead and start it. Alright, so let's say that I'm doing that, and I want to indicate to the operator that I'm doing it. Generally not a light, it's probably a buzzer, and sometimes it's probably both. Alright, so what I want to say here is we're going to insert another line, and we're going to say if it's not T0. Alright, so if it's not quite gotten to the timer count, but what happens is that's going to be on all the time that we're not pushing X2. So we actually want to have the button X2 plus the timer. Alright, so we're going to have both of those, and then we're going to say we want Y1 to be on. Alright, go ahead and write that. Okay, since I'm not pushing the clutch button, that isn't on. But as soon as I do it, the yellow light comes on, and then the green light will come on. The yellow light will go off. All right, if we do it again. All right, so that is basic way of how to use a timer, and there's different variations. You can go in and look and see what all the different timers do. So the next thing I want to show you is a counter. Counters are cool because you can do things that you really can't do with ladder logic. So we're going to replace this box here with a count, in this case C&T, and it just records how many times you've done something. So I'm going to count 5, and after 5 times of pressing this button, I'm going to use the clutch still. If I press the clutch 5 times, it's going to turn the green light on. Before we write the program, we also need to recognize that we switch from a timer to a counter, so it's a different label. All right, so here now it's CT0 instead of T0. All right, so I gotta change that to CT0. Oops, not CTO, CT0. And we'll go ahead and write that to the PLC. All right, so we have our green light on. So I'm going to go ahead and restart that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, here it is, woohoo, 5, green light. All right, so that's what happens, and then I can reset it there. So counters are really not very difficult at all. One thing I want to show you now is an up and down counter. So we can use one thing to count up the timer, another thing to count down the timer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and replace our box here with the UDC, up, down, counter. All right, and same thing here. We can specify our variable, and we can count up, we can count down, and we can also reset. So I'm going to add in X1 will be my reset, and we will go ahead, and it's still CT0, so we haven't changed that, so we can keep using that. So let's go ahead and write our program. And we're going to count up. I can count up 1, so I have a count of 1. I can count down, so I'm back to 0. And I'll just go up to 5. All right, if I go down 1, I'm back to 4. So it's off. Go up to 5, back on. 6, 7, 8. All right, it's still going to be on. I'm going to go down now. 1, 2, 3, and 4 will get us back to a count of 4, which will turn it off. All right, so that's pretty much it. Up-down counters are great. With counters, I don't really know how we would do that in straight up relay logic, but here it's super simple. So I appreciate you watching this episode of The Mentored Engineer. I hope you can use it, hope you understand ladder logic even just a little bit better, and we ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.